Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Facebook Live discussion about National Seminar. My name is Jill Fedon. I am the National Board President. I'm coming to you from a very sunny Northwest New Jersey today to talk about National Seminar and the classes that will be held there. National Seminar this year is July 15th through 17th in Glendale, Arizona. It will be held at the Renaissance Phoenix Glendale Hotel and Spa. And we are going to be talking about all of the classes that are available. We will, there are 15 class sessions with as many as 15 options per session. Topics range from a wide range of interests and skill levels. And there are also, for our virtual registrants, there will be 30 virtual class options as well. So I am excited to welcome some of our guests today who are our faculty who are going to be talking about their classes and their experiences at National Seminar. So first I would like to welcome Jason Krug.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hi, Jason, welcome.
Thank you.
We're also going to welcome Danny Lyons.
Hello.
Hi, Danny, welcome.
Thank you, good to be here.
It's good to have you both here.
Thank you.
So, could you each introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you will be teaching this summer?
Yeah, I'm Jason Krug. I'm coming from equally sunny Indianapolis, Indiana. This summer, I am going to be teaching 3 different classes. One is called The General Theory of Creativity, all about how to be more creative in everything we do and in all aspects of our life, including handbells. One is writing quality music for the small ensemble. For the past year, small ensembles have really been how handbells have kept going. And I and many others have written an enormous amount of music for small ensembles. And so just to look at how do we write that music for that small ensemble and still make it something musical and worthwhile. And then the last is Hamilton for Handbells. It's a very lighthearted look at the lyrics and the message of Hamilton, the musical, and how we can apply that to our handbell ensembles, our handbell ringing, and our musical lives in general.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I bet that one will be popular. Danny, how would you introduce yourself and what you'll be teaching?
Hello, I'm Danny Lyons. I'm coming from sunny Pensacola, Florida. I guess the whole country has pretty weather today. But this summer, I'm going to be teaching a class on bell tree staffs and singing bells. And how to make and incorporate those into your handbell program. And that's probably more of a beginning class because most everybody knows how to do that. But I'm going to, the class will incorporate things like how we begin singing bell, how we stop, how we crescendo, decrescendo. There are things that we don't normally see. So I think that'll be a fun class. And my other class is on change ringing, American style change ringing, which will be fun.
That's wonderful. Singing bells is by far one of my choir's favorite techniques to get to play in music. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun too.
It's very
popular. So how many times have each of you been, you're both veteran faculty members for seminar. So how many times have you taught at National Seminar?
I had to go back and do the math. If you count the virtual seminar last year, this will be my 7th time teaching.
Wow, that's great. How about you, Danny?
And I think this is my 5th time. I didn't do the math, Jason.
Guessing's allowed. Guessing is allowed. And we're glad you're both coming back to teach. What makes you want to keep teaching at seminar each year?
For me, it's seeing all the attendees to give this knowledge that I have and to see how much it is appreciated, how much it's taken to heart by the attendees, and how I feel like some of what I'm imparting is actually going to make a difference for the attendees, for their choirs, and just for handbells in general.
Mhm. Well, I feel sort of the same way. It's if you know something and you feel like you can transport that to other people, then I think it's a good thing to do. And personally, I like to stay busy, frankly, during during the convention. So if I'm not teaching, I'm just hanging around or going to classes. So it's fun to do, and there's a monetary, a portion to it. They pay the part of our hotel is paid for, so that's
Sure.
an incentive.
Sure. Well, it's a good way to keep busy at seminar, and it's a great way to pass on our skills and techniques to the next generation. So that's
Yes,
wonderful.
absolutely.
So speaking of that, we're going to invite now two new faculty members. So I would like to welcome Kendall Ladd.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kendall. Welcome. And Bruna Marinho.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here.
Hi, Bruna. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
So,
you.
Kendall, will you introduce yourself and talk about what you're going to be teaching this summer?
Sure. So my name is Kendall Ladd, keeping the trend going, coming to you live from sunny Lexington, Illinois. I'm so glad to hear of all, the sunny weather we're finally having, though, so I'll happily keep that trend going.
Yes.
I am teaching one class and one roundtable this summer. So my class is actually a game called Ring and Relay. So I know how much fun it is to bond with other people that you've met at seminar. So I love to kind of bring that about with, a little touch of competition, because I think that's always fun, keeps our skills sharp. So it'll be two teams competing against each other to try to make it through a series of handbell themed tasks as quickly as possible in a relay format. So things like coordination conundrums, techniques, handbell trivia. And the goal is to get the quickest time as a team through all these activities. And then my roundtable is actually called Finding Your Inner Ally. So I know lately there's been a lot of conversation around diversity and inclusion, and this is something that is really important to me. So I'm really hoping to help kind of spark and continue that conversation in the handbell community, so we can learn and grow together and hopefully find better ways to create more inclusive choirs throughout our handbell community.
That's wonderful. That's so great that there's going to be that dedicated space and time to have that conversation when we are all gathered together at seminar. So thank you. And I'm really excited to hear about the relays. I'm going to definitely check those out. What a great way to build community within your own choir as well, because we know that's really important to having a strong choir. Thank you, Kendall. Bruna, please introduce yourself and talk about what you are going to be teaching this summer.
Hi, I'm Bruna from Brazil, São Paulo state. It's cold here.
Aw.
Yeah, it is. So that's why I'm like a panda or bear or something like this.
We'll send you our sunshine so you can warm up.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited for this year because I'm going to be teaching two classes on seminar. One is about Brazilian rhythm on handbells, and a little bit about Brazilian music in general. And the next one is handbell on social media. I'm going to be explaining and giving some tips. And you might be dancing in Brazilian rhythm class. And it's going to be very fun. I've noticed that many of you are interested in Brazilian songs. I've watched many videos of Chico Chico no Fubá. And then I thought, wow, I think I can contribute to them and let them know some important concepts of our music. So that's what I'm going to be sharing this year.
That's wonderful. That's great. Dancing is always a lot of fun when you're at seminar, and also ringing handbells. That's really great. And I know that you are very active on social media and post a lot of really fun videos. I know you kept a lot of us inspired throughout the pandemic with all your very creative ideas. So that'll be a great class as well. That's wonderful. So this is open to anyone, but in particular, Kendall and Bruna, what made you to finally decide to teach a class at seminar? We can start with Kendall.
Yeah, sure. So I think, after going to National Seminar for a couple years, there are always like thoughts about like, oh, like what would I like to see here? What would I like to do? What am I finding important at the time? And so I think through attending other faculty's classes and kind of seeing how they do it, it's like, oh, like what flair and spice can I bring to National Seminar 2 that others might find valuable? So I thought, well, what better year than this year? Let's jump on in.
That's wonderful. Yay. I'm so glad that you are. And that's a really great, I think, plug for people who maybe haven't decided to teach yet, but have an idea. If there's something that you're not seeing at seminar that you would like to see, maybe you can propose that to the seminar committee and then it will be there. Wonderful. Bruna, what made you decide to teach this year?
So I didn't know that we could like offer a proposal class. So then I thought I was talking to Mitchell and then said, hey, you can propose a class. And I said, yes, that would be nice, like to share about my music. And I keep like following everyone with bells on Instagram and then investigating all the pages and accounts. Like, well, I think I have a lot to teach them, like, and then I can share many like nice things. And then because it's not kind of easy, And then, so I decided to teach about it and then propose the class, and that happened.
Excellent. Danny or Jason, was there something to add to that? Do you remember the first class that you proposed that you were really excited to get involved in teaching at seminar? Or
The first one I did was handbells and dancing. Because I've taught that class 3 times at National. I went to the Portland, Oregon one, and like Kendall, I kind of looked around and thought, well, what could I do? What could I add to this? And I know the selection committee is going to want something a little strange, a little edgy, maybe, maybe something they haven't seen before. So I made up a class about dancing the Virginia Reel and playing handbells at the same time, which was very, very popular.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And a lot of fun, yeah.
That's great. How about you, Jason? Do you remember your first class that you proposed?
I believe it was a class on composing, if I had to guess. And that was for 2012 in Cincinnati. And, by the time that rolled around, I'd been a published composer for several years. I'd been to Pinnacle in Nashville in 2010 and a seminar in 2011. And there were composing classes, but they didn't quite approach it the way I approach composing. And so I thought, if somebody doesn't approach composing the way these other classes do, they're going to think that they're not cut out for it. And so maybe if I show them how I approach composing, maybe it will reach someone that these other classes don't, just because of style, approach, opinions, whatever. So
that's great. That's great. Thank you. So what is something that you hope your class attendees take away from your class? Is there one goal or an overarching theme that you're really hoping they go home with and get excited about? Anybody can jump in.
I mean, for me, my big push, and especially this last year, but even before this, it's all about creativity. The general theory of creativity class I'm teaching, I've taught it several times before at National Seminar, and it's always well attended because it's not just about ringing, a certain type of bell or a certain type of music or reading. It is lessons and things that we can all apply to every aspect of our lives. And I feel like there's sort of this feeling that if you're not writing music, making art, whatever, you're not creative. And trying to dispel that misunderstanding and to get people to embrace their creativity in everything, because that's what we really need more of in this world.
That's very true. I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Jason.
That's great.
Hi, Joy.
Hi, Joy.
I'm glad you're joining us. So does anyone else have something they hope that their attendees take away?
I hope from my change ringing class, particularly, the change ringing is so much fun and very much misunderstood in a lot of ways. And I hope that people can take what we learn in the class and then take that home. You know, most of the people I think who come to national are probably either advanced ringers or directors. A lot of them have to go home and then use these things in their classes in their teaching at home. So I hope they can take that and realize that you can make a prelude for service in 5 minutes if you've got some basic change ringing skills and put a few chords in there or something like that. So I'm hoping to send that on out into the world.
That's great. And I know that when I go to seminar, I'm always looking for that one thing that I can, there's a handful of things that I can take home and implement right away with my choirs.
Yes.
Something very practical like a prelude from a technique is a skill is a great thing to take with you. How about you, Kendall?
Yeah, so I definitely have to agree with the aspect of, I just hope that everyone will take away at least something that they can bring back to their own choir. So whether that is through participation in a game, maybe that's a good way to kind of have some sort of bonding activity for your own choir that you can implement, even if it's only a small piece. And I know I kind of alluded to this before, the whole conversation around diversity and inclusion. I'm really, really hoping that everyone who comes and participates in that conversation at National Seminar is able to take a piece of that back to their own choirs, because that's definitely not something that I would want to see isolated to just that specific time and place. I hope it's something that can be very empowering and influential to others, that they can, take that back to the people that they know also.
Thank you. Mitchell, Ethan would like to know from Danny what the American style of change ringing involves.
The reason I've called it American style change ringing is because true change ringers would probably be appalled at the way I teach change ringing, because if in the traditional English style of change ringing on handbell, the bells are regulated so they strike the same, going up and down, and they have a very staid technique of ringing those bells. And in order to do that, you've got to go through and rearrange all the tension on the springs on your bells. Most of us don't have bells that are equally, one side or the other. So then you've got to go back and redo them. And, so I'm just saying, don't do any of that. Let's play the bells the way they are, the way we normally play them every Wednesday and Sunday, and then use the same techniques that we're using. So we're just learning about change ringing. We're not learning a new physical ringing technique,
which will make it far more accessible. And Mitchell, you'll have to go check out his class so you can learn more about it. Bruna, what do you hope that you're doing?
Well, I hope people like living from my room dancing and motivated to ring Brazilian music. Even like, I don't want people thinking, oh, that's too hard. I'm not gonna I want them like believing and getting excited and motivated for. And I want them like excited to do art. Like we are not web designers, but there are some websites that really help us like to make nice art, like for thumbnails and for Instagram. And then I didn't like study it for that. I just learned it like researching. So then I want to teach people how to make it, and then I hope they get excited to do it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I know I've spent a lot of time on Instagram lately. I do host another handle, and I'm always looking for tricks and tips and all the latest apps that are going to help me out. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So as educators, as conductors, we all know that we want our students to take away something, but we get something in return from that. So is there something that you hope to get from teaching, or that you get from when you're sharing and you're teaching other students or other people? Sorry, I spent most of my day with people under the age of 6, so they're students. Sorry. So, but we're all students. We're all students in one way or the other. So, is there something that you hope to get from this experience as well?
Well, as a teacher, you're also a student, and that's one of the things that I get maybe the most from teaching. You've got to do some research. You've got to make sure that your knowledge is firm on the whatever you're teaching. So it teaches you while you're learning to preparing a class to teach somebody else. So it's very rewarding in that sense.
It is. It is indeed. Anyone else? I mean, Danny summed that up very, very nicely.
Thank you.
All right, so I just got to wave. I think Jennifer Van Golen is watching. So hi. So Kendall, Kendall, you are also our faculty coordinator. Mm-hmm. Would you share with those who are watching from home a little bit about the different kinds of classes that are going to be offered and where they can find that information?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jill, you kind of alluded to this in the beginning. We have such a wide variety of classes. As always, we try to find classes that are targeted towards ringers, towards directors, if you're a soloist, or if you prefer to ring in small ensembles. And kind of, in my case, maybe we have games or other types of round tables for you to join too. We have a little something for everyone. And these classes can apply to topics such as how you can improve your skills as a ringer and a musician, or again, if you're looking to have a little more competition, a little something extra, while you're at National Seminar. And something that's really cool on the website too is if you're thinking about possibly attending virtually instead of in person, we do have little icons next to different classes, such as the little computer screen that indicates this is a class that will be offered virtually. And then there's a little bell icon that lets you know whether or not bells are strongly encouraged to have for that class. So I definitely encourage everyone to go to the National Seminar website and take a look, because there are so many different types of classes, and we would not have time to even begin to touch on half of them.
No, I know. I always find when I'm registering that I have a really hard time narrowing down all of the classes that I want to be able to attend. It's such a great opportunity to be inspired by people from all across the country and the world who want to share their knowledge. So, so I'm going to talk a little bit about registration. In-person registration includes classes, concerts. There's a welcome party in the new Handbell Commons. There's a gala banquet, access to vendor exhibits in the community plaza, and you're also going to be given access to recordings from all of the virtual classes. If you're choosing to register virtually, which I know was a lot of fun last year, and I learned a lot, even though we couldn't all be together in one physical space, there are 30 virtual class options, and you also will have access to the live streamed concerts. I did forget to mention, I'm sorry for those of you who are watching, don't forget that you have, we've had a few, if you have any comments or questions, to pop them into the chat and we'll be able to see them. Registration, early bird registration is June 1st, which is shockingly right around the corner. So make sure that if you're planning to come, you do that, so you get the lower registration rate. So we've had a wonderful chat with us too, Jillian. We can't wait to see everybody in person. Yay, Michael. It'll be so great to see everyone. It's going to be like a family reunion. That's wonderful. Jason's classes are great classes to go to feel inspired and to think a little bit differently or outside the box when it comes to composing. Absolutely. So I forget what I was going to say because I got so distracted by all the comments. I was very excited. It's like a family reunion. I talked about this a few years ago when we were together, but it's so true. And, we have been apart for a little too long. So it's going to be wonderful to be together again and see everyone in Glendale. So I'm really glad that you all joined us today. Do you have any parting words or things that you really want people to know about your classes or why they should come to seminar before we take any final questions? anything that you're like, there's a reason you should be there?
Look at your screen.
That's right.
That's all you need to
International.
know.
That was the perfect answer. That was the perfect answer. I love that.
I do want to say, you're talking about the early bird deadline. Classes fill up. So, if you're coming in person, it's early. You have to get in there early enough to get the classes you want. So I'd encourage anybody to register as early as possible.
Absolutely. And these are some wonderful and varied class options. This is really a true array of what's available. So you are sure to find something that's going to inspire you and further your handbell musicianship and to bring back to what you're doing at your home. I'm just going to check to see if there are any questions for us. Brian? Oh, we're good.
Oh.
Wonderful. We're good to go. There's no question. So I want to say thank you to JR and Brian who are behind the scenes. A huge thank you to Jason and Danny and Kendall and Bruna for joining us. It was a pleasure to be able to speak with you today and learn more about your classes. I can't wait to visit them, to come to your classes when we are in Glendale. Don't forget to register, check out our seminar website, and we hope to see you all in Glendale in July. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was
Thanks.
a lot of fun. Good to see
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.